All right, a new Dracula adaptation just dropped, Dracula 2026. So I wanted to go back and compare the other two modern Dracula blockbusters, Bram Stoker's Dracula from Ford Francis Coppola and Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. I love the Dracula story. I've read the book, and I really think it's one of those timeless stories that just keeps lending itself to new adaptations. All three of these movies hit the main plot points of the classic story, but the way they interpret Dracula himself is where things really start to split. So Dracula is a character. Both Bram Stoker's Dracula and Dracula 2026 try to make Dracula a sympathetic character. They give him a tragic past, his wife dies, and that loss is what drives him. Nosferatu goes much closer to the book in this regard. Count Orlok isn't misunderstood or tragic, he's just evil. He's this unnatural force, more of an entity than a man. All three of these movies also really lean to the connection between Dracula Orlok and Mina or Ellen. But again, in Bram Stoker's Dracula and Dracula 2026, his motivations feel almost noble or at least logical. In Nosferatu, that connection is way more sinister, which honestly is closer to the novel as well. Alright, the endings. The endings are another big difference. Bram Stoker's Dracula is probably the closest to the book here. In Dracula 2026, Dracula willingly gives himself up. In Nosferatu, he's tricked, and the finale doesn't even take place back at his castle. Even though it's not the most faithful ending, I think Nosferatu easily has the most cinematic finale, and it's the ending I like most. From a filmmaking and direction standpoint, this is where things really start getting uneven. Dracula 2026 clearly in last place here. It's going up against two powerhouse directors though, Ford Francis Coppola and Robert Eggers, and it's really not even a fair comparison. Coppola's style in Bram Stoker's Dracula is something I really enjoy. The vibe, the atmosphere, and especially the score, it just feels perfect for Dracula. But Eggers' style really does it for me. That supernatural realism, the grounded horror, the texture of the world, it translates so well to this story. For me, Nosferatu has the edge again. The tone and atmosphere of Bram Stoker's Dracula and Nosferatu are way more in line with what I want from a Dracula adaptation. Dracula 2026 just gets way too silly and goofy at times. Now let's compare the three Dracula performances. All three actors do a really solid job here. Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok is easily the creepiest and most intimidating, just pure nightmare fuel. Gary Oldman's Dracula, though, is still the gold standard for me. He can be terrifying and demonic, but also charismatic and charming when he needs to be. Orlok never really has that side. He's demonic the entire time. Kale Landry Jones is good as Dracula in the new adaptation, and his take is actually pretty similar to Gary Oldman's in a lot of ways, but the movie around him just doesn't serve him or the character nearly as well. So final ranking, how do I rank these three? In last place, I have to go Dracula 2026. It's a silly adaptation that really struggles to balance the tones it's going for. Second place, I'd go with Bram Stoker's Dracula. This is the most faithful adaptation of the three though, and I still think it's an iconic adaptation. But first place, Nosferatu for me. The atmosphere, tone, and filmmaking style creates a genuinely terrifying version of the story, which is my preferred take, even if it's not as faithful as Bram Stoker's Dracula. So how would you compare and rank these three Dracula adaptations? Let me know down in the comments below, and like, follow, and subscribe for more videos like this.